Bryan Levell just ran a new personal best 9.82, which is the second fastest time of the season this year, and is just another very impressive time from the Jamaican sprinters. We have Kashane Thompson ran 9.75, Bryan Levell 9.82, and then also Oblique Seville 9.83 are the three fastest times, all from Jamaica. So we're gonna go ahead and hop right into the video here. He is also 6'1". Everyone's already talking about how this is gonna be one of the best 4x100 meter Jamaican teams that we've seen in a very, very long time, potentially beating the world record holder. I've seen that on Reddit, people talking about that. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility here. I mean, obviously, Kashane Thompson's running some great times, but that team was just so stacked. Looking at the start here from Bryan Levell, another thing that I think is very important to consider here is there's some things that he can improve, right? So there's a really good first step. I think he gets that foot down very quickly. Love how he lands and kind of catches that. Notice the shin angle there. Does a really good job, but he's kind of late in getting that foot down. He's pretty efficient with it. Again, he's 6'1", but we can see that he was a little bit behind some of the other athletes here. Didn't have as good of a reaction time, it seemed like, but still got that foot down quick, stayed forward. And the second step, not a great step, but not a bad step either. You can see getting pretty wide there, and just in general, he ends up getting pretty wide during that acceleration. Seems like that is a big part of helping him get that momentum going side to side. He is pretty wide with the arms as well, especially that right arm getting pretty far off to the side there. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I do think that that ends up helping. Even going side to side, I think could be a good thing when it comes to the acceleration. What I think would be an area to improve is just that shin position being so vertical. You know, I'm big on keeping that shin facing a little bit more straight ahead, especially during the acceleration, keeping that foot a little bit more underneath. And then when you're landing, not landing and going into pronation as much to make it so you could be a little bit quicker off the ground. But still, you know, obviously 9.82, there's not a lot to be able to say that you need to improve, right? 9.82 would be a great time for, I think, any coach seeing their athlete run 9.82 would be happy with the overall performance in a lot of senses, or in general. But now looking into the later parts of the race, what really stood out to me is just how good he was during the acceleration. So as we get into, you know, like the step 15, 17, he's already getting out in front of everybody, and it just doesn't take him very long to get ahead and really stay ahead, right? And that has a lot to do, in my opinion, with the efficiency of the acceleration. So once you get to top speed, this isn't the time where for most athletes you can go and just like turn on a switch and be able to beat everybody. Yeah, we've seen like Usain Bolt kind of talk about what he was able to do once he got into his top speed, and we've seen him be able to come back after not having some great starts. But even if he reacted bad or kind of stumbled out of the blocks, a lot of what he does within the acceleration still makes it so he's able to get to, or was able to get to, those tremendous top speeds, where we could see a similar thing here with Bryan Levell, where some of the things that he was doing in terms of the momentum going side to side made it so then as he got to top speed, now he's very much straightened out. He's getting a lot of distance per step, does a great job with that foot strike here at being able to be very quick off the ground. 9.5 is back off by 0.5. I mean, exactly where you'd want to be. And he's very strong. You could see 3.0 and then off by 4.3, a little bit longer, seems like maybe on the right side. It's hard to also see exactly where he's off on that side there, but point being is he's very strong. I mean, you could see the strength in his legs, you could see the quickness of his foot contact, you could see the length within the arms. I think that's really important, especially him being 6'1". You got to be able to maintain the length. And you know, for him being 6'1", we can see all the other athletes here, he's at least top 3 when it comes to his height, and he's still able to maintain a lot of length, and he's still very quick. And I think that's the key thing here, is some of these other athletes were a little bit quicker with getting the feet down when we saw the acceleration, but he was able to really just stay with them in those first few steps, right? A little bit longer steps in terms of how much distance he's covering. So he's not as quick, he's a little bit longer, but still quick enough to be able to stay with them here. So then once he gets to his top speed, starts opening up, now he could really separate from the rest of the field and was able to run that 9.82. So when you look at his progression, he was at 9.9 last year, 10.1 the year before, 10.2 the year before in 2023, 10.25 in 2022. So he's had a nice progression. Last kind of like 2 years, went from 10.21 down to 9.98 last year, then 9.82 here. based off his performance, it looks like he's in a great position to run something similar to this later on in the year. I don't see this being a position where, when he gets into a competition where there's going to be better starters, quicker starters, that would end up being a negative for him. A lot of times when we're watching these types of runs, it's kind of like, if you can pair this guy up with people that are going to be even faster, even quicker, then we might see them kind of fall off just because of some of the technique issues or some of the things within the mechanics. Where for him, I think he is in a position where if you put him up against better competition, then he should be able to excel and should be able to do better based off some of the things that we're seeing within his mechanics. So definitely interesting to be able to see him compete. I think him running 982 puts him right there in the conversation with Oblique Seville, Trayvon Bromell, Noah Lyles, with who's going to be the fastest man of 2025 here in the World Championships. It could very well be Bryan Levell, especially based off of what we saw the Olympic champion be for women's last year in the 100. Julian Alfred kind of came out of nowhere, had a great season, obviously, won the indoor championships, but then all of a sudden no one kind of predicted, oh yeah, she would be the Olympic champion with Shrika Jackson, Sha'Carri, all the other big names, but she came in and did it. Now she's obviously a big name. Kind of a similar thing here. Bryan Levell, he's having some success here right now. 982, it's a great time, very respectable time, but is still pretty not really well known within a lot of the track and field community, but somebody that could easily be a top competitor based off of this time, based off of this race. Would love to hear what your guys' input is after watching this and seeing some of the things he's doing within his acceleration, within his top speed as well, and how well he's able to hold his top speed all the way through the race. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.